Tonight we are remembering the great speech by Martin Luther King that he gave at the Riverside Church in New York City on 1967, called Beyond Vietnam, and it laid out some of his justifications for why he opposed the war and how the war had such a terrible influence not only on Americans, but particularly poor and black Americans, but also the entire world, obviously including the Vietnamese who were the victims of the war. He was very much ahead of his time. And, you know, we think of him now, that we have a national holiday named after him, and he's revered as a civil rights leader. Sometimes we forget he was not always so popular, and he was willing, especially as he got older, he was more and more willing to tackle these very difficult issues of peace, poverty, militarism, and for him they were intersectional, you know, that you couldn't tackle one without the others.
When he delivered the speech, he was roundly criticized. The New York Times the next day, or the New York Times Review of Books, I can't remember, said that Dr. King is becoming increasingly irrelevant. As I thought about this speech, I wondered, well, should we edit it or just use excerpts, because it critiques very specifically a war that all of you remember, but many Americans do not. But we are going to do the whole text because of its very thoroughness, because the specifics indicate the nature of war, and here we are becoming more deeply engaged in the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, sending tanks. Here we are with the doomsday clock set at 90 seconds to midnight, which was announced this week. So while this is a historical speech, it's also timeless, and I hope you will see that as we go all the way through.
What do the peasants think as we ally ourselves with the landlords, and as we refuse to put any action into our many words concerning land reform? What do they think as we test out our latest weapons on them, just as the Germans tested our new medicine and new tortures in the concentration camps of Europe? Where are the roots of the independent Vietnam we claim to be building? Is it among these voiceless ones? We have destroyed their most cherished institutions, the family and the village. We have destroyed their land and their crops. We have cooperated in the crushing of the nation's only non-communist revolutionary political force, the Unified Buddhist Church. We have supported the enemies of the peasants of Saigon. We have corrupted their women and children and killed their men.
And if we will only make the right choice, we will be able to transform this pending cosmic elegy into a creative psalm of peace. If we will make the right choice, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our world into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. If we will but make the right choice, we will be able to speed up the day all over America and all over the world, when justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.